The person you're about to meet is well acquainted with obstacles. And in her 13-year PartyLite career, she has helped many to bypass their fear and realize the strengths and talents within them. Talents that have helped her and her team to create the Masterpiece region. Which, by the way, is celebrating its 10th anniversary. Over her illustrious career, she's received all the top honors of PartyLite, including those for sales, sponsoring, and leadership development. But she is most proud of the work that she's done together with her team, especially in 2006. Through May, they have had a 37% growth in sales and a 56% growth in sponsoring. Here she is with a style all her own. Senior Regional Vice President of the Masterpiece Region, Kim Yanuskiewicz.
Thank you. Hello, PartyLite. Fear. F-E-A-R. It's a simple four-letter word, yet fear is a killer. It kills your spirit, it kills your passion and your joy, it kills careers, and it kills relationships. And it almost killed all of my hopes and dreams. How is it killing yours? Here's my self-portrait from 13 years ago. Yep, that was me. Fear was not only my middle name, but my first and last name too. Fear ruled my life. And although I try to run, duck, and hide from it, it always won. I decided to give PartyLite a try in 1993 at the age of 29 after my sponsor, Jerry Pletcher, SRVP of the Premier Region, repeatedly asked me for 5 long years. I made every excuse in the book, but the bottom line was I was terrified to my core of public speaking. Scared of making a fool of myself, scared of failure, scared of not getting bookings, and much, much more. I made this mountainous decision for one reason only, and it wasn't for the money, the trips, or the benefits. It was simple. I wanted to do my 6 shows and live to tell the tale. My goal was to get over this fear that had plagued me since the 3rd grade. I'm the only one I know that got through all of high school and college without ever having to do an oral presentation. I even switched colleges because they required 2 semesters of speech class. So when the call was made to my leader, Jerry, boy, was she excited. All of her efforts paid off. I was finally going to do this. Here were my exact words to her. Don't get excited, Jerry. I'm just trying it. I'll do my 6 shows and see what happens. If I get bookings, great. If I don't, so what? I have a real job. I don't need the income from PartyLite. Oh, what was I doing? Giving myself an out, just in case I didn't make it. Fear was winning once again. Well, I did live through those first 6 shows, barely, and ended up sponsoring 3 people. The other 3 shows resulted in 2 new bookings, one of which canceled, so I had 1 booking left in my calendar. Woo! My choices? Quit. After all, I didn't need PartyLite. or get on the phone. Well, I am no quitter, so I faced my fear of rejection and I picked up that phone. I called my mother's friends, daughter-in-law, long-lost cousins, and some of my husband's wives' friends from college. I was leaping outside of my comfort zone. I did save my business, and I ended up earning a trip to Maui after only 12 shows and became a unit leader at the end of my Bright Start period. Imagine that. Then I had to hold my own unit workshops. Yikes, another fear. Then Jerry asked me to drive to Pittsburgh and speak at a regional. Oh my God. You see, we were all alone in New England. We didn't have regionals or workshops to attend. So driving to Pittsburgh for 13 hours to speak in front of 200 people nearly did me in. But yet I lived through another fear. So here's what my mountain range of fears looked like. Their names are self-doubt, what-ifs, humiliation, regrets, negative self-talk, comfort zone, rejection, and change. How many of you out there can relate to one or all of those fears? So where do you start? You start with taking 100% responsibility for your life and your business. Because your business is where it is today as a direct result of the energy and the effort and the time you have put into it. It starts with you. And you must be willing to give up all blaming, complaining, and excuse-making. Second, you need a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal, and a big why. If your business isn't moving in the direction you want it to, your want or your need isn't great enough. Are you going to leave this conference and do exactly what you've done before? Then you're going to get the same results. If your why is just a little extra money for shoes, clothes, or groceries, you won't move mountains. If your why is buying your first home, your dream home, paying for college tuition, going on family vacations, paying off credit card debt, or paying your mortgage each month, those are big whys. Attach your money to something tangible and have your why in front of you all the time. If you have a big enough why, you'll figure out the how. Third, leave your comfort zone in the dust. Fear is the gatekeeper of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It may keep you safe, but how satisfying is safe? Fear doesn't know that adults crave freedom, fulfillment, and success. So how do you get past such paralyzing fears? We have a motto on the Masterpiece Dream Team. What is it, guys? Feel the fear and do it anyway. We all feel fear, and there's only one way to stop it. Just do it. I shared what my why was in the beginning of my journey, just to live through the 6 shows and hope I got past my fear of public speaking. Well, did it work? Eventually. But for 6 months, I'd wake up in the morning, and as my eyes fluttered open and I remembered I had a show that evening, I felt nauseous. And that sick feeling lessened over time, and my why changed. I realized I had a fun job where I could just be me and get paid for it, and I loved it. And I started seeing the big picture. I realized I could leave my 70-hour-a-week job and actually have a life. I could watch the sun rise and set, something I hadn't ever done before, since I went to work in the dark and I came home in the dark. I could plant flowers and actually watch them grow. My husband could retire from his stressful engineering job, and maybe, just maybe, we'd have our dream log home before we turned 50. So as I was building, I could see my job was holding me back due to all the hours I put in. Up to this point, I was only holding about 2 shows a week. I could only do them on the weekends due to my job and the fact that every single show I did was 2 and 3 hours from home. If and when I had a show only an hour away, I called it a local show. I knew I was capable of so much more if I could leave that job, but how do you walk away from $60,000 a year? I decided to practice the magic of 90 days. The magic of 90 days is a simple principle that you can do just about anything for 90 days. The light is at the end of the tunnel. I came home one fateful Friday afternoon in September of 1993 after attending a powerful seminar where the speaker closed with the lyrics to Harry Chapin's classic song, Cats in the Cradle. And in that moment, I knew life was too short. So I went home and I told my husband, Matt, I was quitting my job. This didn't elicit a good response, let me tell you. You see, all he focused on was the loss of income, not the potential income. So I said to him, you wait and see what I'm made of once I leave this job. I gave a 3-month notice, 90 days. I booked more shows than I knew what to do with. I packed my bags. I slept in Burger King parking lots, at friends' homes, at my mother's house. I got up at 5 a.m. to be at work at 8:30. Remember, I had a 2 to 3 hour ride back. But the candle was burning bright at the end. And that fall, I held tons of shows. I sponsored and I prepped myself for the following year. Change. Another scary 6-letter word. The only permanent thing in life is change. You have to be willing to embrace change. At every moment, you are changing. You're never staying the same. If you're not busy growing, you're busy dying. Think of your life 1 year from now, 5 years from now. It won't be the same. It might be better, it might be worse, but it won't be the same. So who out there wants to get busy growing? Do you? Are you willing to stomp all over your comfort zone and try something you may not have ever done before? A few of you? How many of you have ever sponsored 6 people in 1 month? How about 6 people in 90 days? Raise your hand if you've ever done this. Congratulations. Of course it can be done. But let me go inside your head for just a minute. Well, I haven't ever sponsored 6 in a year. Can I do it in 90 days? I'm really new. I haven't even sponsored 1 yet. Everyone that I sponsor doesn't make it. It must be me. I only have a few shows left in my calendar. How am I going to find them? I don't know how to sponsor. My leader's never around. She's not going to help me. I offer the opportunity at every one of my shows, and no one ever wants to join. The economy's terrible right now. Maybe when my kids get older. Blaming, complaining, excuse-making, fear, self-doubt, negative self-talk. You have to eliminate all of that if you want to be successful. And you have to want it bad enough. Because the final step is taking action. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step. 1 show at a time and 1 sponsor at a time. So what will the rewards be? Sponsoring 6 people in the next 90 days. Become a unit leader, double your income. If you're a leader, strengthening your unit. Sponsoring rewards galore. But let's go back inside your head for a minute. But I don't know how to be a leader. I have to be responsible for all those people, don't I? I have to hold unit workshops. I don't know how. I'm not organized. I don't know all the answers. And what if I can't hold on to my unit? Fears, self-doubt, what ifs. So, what if you didn't make it as a leader? What if? What's the worst case scenario? You go back to being a great consultant. It's not so bad. So what? Would you rather have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? I would. I would rather have been an RVP for one day and lost it than never have been one at all. It's the journey that counts. So resign yourself from the I'm too afraid club. This club is a large organization. The membership is free and is open to everybody. This club doesn't have a monthly newsletter or a secret handshake. In fact, its members won't even publicly acknowledge that they belong. Yet, they're easy to spot, not through their words, but through their actions. Their actions speak volumes. Ask yourself this question: is fear standing between you and your ability to go anywhere you want and be anything you want to be? If the answer is yes, you're probably a member. And only you have the power to change it. In the beginning, I showed you my self-portrait. Here's my self-portrait 13 years later. Oprah has often said, I just want one day when I'm not afraid of anything. Living fearlessly is my wish for all of you. Living fearlessly doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you don't allow fear to dictate your choices or define who you are. And as I stand before you today, I can honestly tell you that most days I no longer feel any fear. Stand up to fear. Refuse to let fear rule your life. Just imagine what your life would look like, be like, if you lived fearlessly. Only when we're no longer afraid do we begin to live. So let me show you what it looks like to live with intention, embrace change, take 100% responsibility for your life, and live fearlessly. My best friend and husband, Matt, of 20 years, got to retire 7 years ago at the age of 38. We purchased our dream log home with candle money in 1996. We live there with our 6 cats in the hills of Connecticut, and it's truly a paradise. We've enjoyed trips to the following destinations: Maui, San Juan, Puerto Rico, a cruise, Cancun, Mexico, Bermuda, Hawaii, the RVP world-class trip to London and Switzerland, Aruba, the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, the Miraval Resort in Arizona, Cancun, Mexico again, Oahu, Paris, France, a cruise, the Atlantis Resort again, Hawaii again, and Aruba again. Wow, lots of great memories. To date, PartyLite has paid me $2,218,000. Thank you, PartyLite. That's an average of $164,296 for the last 13 and a half years. And PartyLite paid me $21 an hour last year. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even while I was sleeping. But the greatest gift PartyLite has given me is the freedom and the flexibility to make my own hours, be my own boss, set my own schedule, and have the life we have always dreamed of. And the only difference between you and me is I want it more than you do. Success will come when you decide that you want it more than you're afraid of it. So let's decide together to feel the fear and do it anyway. So I want you all to stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. For the next 90 days, I will not let fear rule my life. I will give up all blaming, complaining, and excuse-making. I will resign from the I'm Too Afraid Club. I will get a BHAG and look at it every day. I will leave my comfort zone behind. I will embrace change and get busy growing. And I will feel the fear and do it anyway. Thank you.
Awesome job! Thank you, Kim, for showing us the way to get outside our comfort zone, beyond our fear, and helping us to say yes to our dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for Kim Yanuskiewicz.
And an ice cold beer. Don't want